Hi, I'm Dr. Gaitanis. I'm an infectious disease doctor, and I'm going to talk to you about COVID vaccines today. So usually they're studied 3 months out in a trial after when they're given. And after 6 weeks, if you haven't encountered any significant adverse effects, you're most likely not going to encounter one. So if your parents are on the fence about you getting the COVID vaccine, I think first you should discuss it with them. You do have the option in Rhode Island, if you're 16 or 17, to consent for the vaccine yourself. So a lot of people are scared of needles. There's a lot of techniques that we can do to make sure that you don't get pain. If you do have some fears about getting the vaccine, I would discuss it with the health provider who is giving you the vaccine, because they can kind of like walk you through. Sometimes people distract you. The vaccine side effects are very self-limited, meaning they only last 24 to 40 hours and then they're done. Usually the effects are much less than getting flu-like syndrome or illness, severe illness from COVID, and it's totally worth it. We usually tell people, like when they're starting to feel better, or maybe waiting out till at least 3 months. The CDC does say that with natural infection, you're pretty much protected for at least 3 months, but maybe don't wait longer than 3 months after your illness to get the vaccine, just because the vaccine is giving people much better protection and broader protection for a longer time period than having the natural infection. With Moderna and Pfizer, there's 2 doses. With the Johnson & Johnson, you only get one dose. One way of getting back to normal is to all get vaccinated. I think that we would all ideally like a herd of immunity of about 70 to 85% in this country. I think personally that we're going to get back to a real normal in 2022. Getting the COVID vaccine annually might be something that's recommended, almost like a flu shot. We might very well have protection from life for just 1 dose. The tricky thing that is thrown into this is that there are a lot of viral variants. We might need a booster with like a different tweaking of the virus annually for at least the first couple of years after this pandemic. There are several reasons to get it. Number 1 is that you don't want to be a spreader. Number 2 is you don't want to get sick from COVID. You might have long-term side effects from COVID, like maybe for 6 months, and that's called long COVID syndrome. And then the third reason to get it is that you are going to help our public health efforts in this country by getting your vaccine. I understand that there's been some distrust about the vaccine development because it was so quick, but it was quick for a reason. In the last 20 years, scientists have been looking at how to develop these mRNA vaccines, and they've had a lot of experience with this, with SARS-1. The scientists have been perfecting it, so we could actually skip a lot of the phase 1 trials with the mRNA vaccine, and it would not have been put through emergency use authorization by the FDA if it wasn't done in the correct way. Yes, so Pfizer just did a trial with 12 to 15. The Pfizer vaccine, 2 doses, was deemed to be very efficacious and did not have any adverse events. In the next week, you can sign up kids who are 12 to 15 to get the vaccine, and I'll be signing up my youngest child to get one on Saturday. Mainly, if you've had the vaccine, you can get together with other people who have had the vaccine. If you are getting without masks, if you have had the vaccine and you're getting together with people who have not had the vaccine from other households, you should remain masked.